All right, everyone, welcome back into another PrizePicks and Underdog video. Going to be getting into the top props in NBA Summer League today. Just a reminder, if you guys like the coverage, make sure to give a like and subscribe. If you guys want access to the cheat sheet that you see in this video, it is available for $10 a month. Link in the description below. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. And so just looking at the board for today, we do have two early games, okay, which I'm going to start out with covering, but I'm going to do a game-by-game breakdown. That way, once more props are out there throughout the day, you guys can use that information to go ahead and apply it how you see fit. Yesterday, really the best prop bet that was available was one that I highlighted, which was Jordan Ford for over points. You end up getting that over. Kind of stuck with that because right now, especially looking at PrizePicks, we are only getting points base props right now, which all in all, there are some props that I like. So let's go ahead and start out with Washington. So when we look at the game lines, there's not going to be really any games that we want to stay away from. And sure, none of these lines are really going to be telling us too much about the game as a whole, but all in all, it is worthwhile, I think, to look at. Now, I do want to call out that we look at Ryan Rollins. DraftKings has the points prop set at 105, and we look at Johnny Davis, they have the points prop set at 120, minus 120. So decent ones there. Then we look at the other side of the basketball, we got Carson Wallace, also kind of favored to get over 15 points, and then Keontae Johnson also get over 15 points. You know, all in all, I would say I have been better at predicting which players are going to go off rather than DraftKings Sportsbook, just as an FYI, compared to their odds. But these aren't exactly like over and under odds, right? So it's not like fully true. But let's start with Washington. I finally feel like this is going to be the day that Johnny Davis gets his over points prop. It is set at 15.5, which all in all, probably the correct prop, but he has been getting over 15 shot attempts each game, okay? So it doesn't take him that much more to be able to get the over. He just needs a really good night shooting the basketball. He hasn't been terrible. You know, these are all pretty good. This game against San Antonio, he was forced to throw up a couple of shot attempts here and there. Probably not that accurate. I would say maybe 4 for 13. It's not like he lit it up, but didn't get there. I feel like he's finally going to get there. The minutes have been there as well. All in all, though, probably feels like we're forcing it a little bit. That'd be more or less something I would maybe try to use in a game stack. Now, I also want to call out Ryan Rollins as well. He is someone that got into foul trouble in the last game. He was still able to get 25 minutes. Now, he is someone that has been shooting the basketball a ton. 1 for 3 from 3, 1 for 3 from 3, and then 1 for 6 from 3. But he's been able to get double-digit shot attempts, all while not getting around 30 minutes. And I think that is a lot due to him being in foul trouble. Okay, he needs to not be in foul trouble. We look at that 5, 4, and 6, right? He cannot be in foul trouble. That to me is what this bet would seem like it is. But because of that, his points prop is set at 14.5. And so we're just looking at both of those props, they are going to be the same on both sites, just as an FYI. Now for Underdog, they are giving us a points, rebounds, and assist prop for both Johnny Davis and Keontae Johnson, and Ryan Rollins as well. So let's just take a peek at those as well, examine that if we want to be on those. So to me, like I think we would more or less want to go with Ryan Rollins 4 points. Hasn't exactly lit up assist or rebounds wise, and you know, if he gets into foul trouble as well, it's tough to imagine him even getting that. Looking at Johnny Davis, he has been someone that has been able to contribute on all aspects of the court, but the line is correct at 23.5. Heck, that feels a little bit too high. We see why it's there because they have the points set at 15.5. That makes sense. That would be the better bet for points. If he gets the over with both of those, or if he gets the over with points, he's probably going to get the over with both of those, so might as well just go with the points. Now let's flip it over and get into OKC. So I do want to call out that I have not seen any word on any minutes just yet for the Thunder. We already knew that Jalen Williams was going to be out, but for like Chet Holmgren, we don't know if he's going to play. I would assume everyone else that has been playing is still going to play, but really in terms of the props that are available for them, we're looking at Carson Wallace and Keontae Johnson. And so really the only one that is kind of standing out is Keontae Johnson, but we can see why was he able to have 18 points. He went 7 for 9. That's not going to happen again. In the previous game, 9 for 14. So the points prop of 15.5 probably seems right. Like, honestly, it probably feels like we're chasing them. To me, that mostly feels like a stay away. So let's go ahead and move on. Just to recap, like Ryan Rollins would probably be the only prop that I like, just betting on him not getting into foul trouble, thus getting a little bit extra run. Let's go ahead and move on into that next game. We got Philly versus the Clippers. So when we look at that game, you know, solid over and under 186, you know, best game on the slate. We get the points props. Nothing too crazy. Like once again, like none of these are standing out. Maybe Smith for over 15 points. Let's see what his prop line is set at. 16.5. So probably once again, kind of forcing a little bit probably there. But this is one of those situations here where we are getting a decent prop line difference for him here. PrizePicks has the line set at 16.5. Okay. Whereas Underdog has it set at 15. I honestly don't mind the idea of kind of hedging. We could do one under on PrizePicks, and then we could do the over on Underdog. And the thing with Smith is like a lot of his I shouldn't say a lot, enough of his production has come from the free throw stride, 3 points, 2 points, 1 point, and then also hitting threes. He's hit 3 threes in each game. That is huge, but he's not shooting that many 3-ball attempts. I guess the majority of his shot attempts are 3-ball attempts though as well. So it's tough to say, like, if he has a cold night shooting the 3-ball, he's not going to get there, especially playing, not over 30 minutes. That does worry me a little bit there as well. I would imagine he's still going to get a lot of minutes though. And it's just kind of weird that he hasn't had a really dominant night just yet. I mean, they've been solid. So I don't know. I feel like the over on Underdog would be the way to go here. And then the other player prop that we are getting is Ricky Council here. So his line is pretty low because he's just not shooting the basketball a lot, averaging under 10 shot attempts. That's just not enough. He is getting to the free throw stride, which I don't think we can bank on that. Although the NBA refs have been very soft. The summer NBA league refs have been soft. So maybe that continues, but all in all, probably a prop that we're staying away from. Now we look at the other side of the basketball. The Clippers have kind of been spreading out their production, which to me is going to make it more difficult to predict. And we can kind of see that echoed here with really their pricing on DraftKings. It's always a good source to kind of look at that. And just looking at, we also are not getting any like elite points, rebounds, and assists props in this game. So let's go ahead and move on into the afternoon games. And just looking at it here, guys, we do have a lot of games in the afternoon slate. So I'm probably going to be flying through this a little bit quicker than the first 2 games. So probably one of my favorite props on the day is actually going to be looking at Jordan Walsh for over 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists. At least on Underdog, we're not getting that prop for PrizePicks. We are getting a points-based prop of 16.5. And so if we look at that game, we'll see that Jordan Walsh heavily favored to get over 15 points and kind of looking like they like the 20 points a little bit better. So with that being said, that line that we're getting on him, 23.5 for points, rebounds, and assists, is one that intrigues me. Now, the issue that I have with that is going to be that he hasn't exactly been dominating assist-wise, and, rebounds has left a little bit to be desired. So if we look at what he's averaging right now, though, this is what we'll round up here. 7 and 18, about 25. And the minutes have been there. The shot attempts have been there as well. So to me, that feels like a very good number that we are getting there on Underdog for the over points, rebounds, and assists. 16.5 points also does seem pretty intriguing as well, just given the amount of shot attempts he's gotten in the last 2 games. 4 for 14, 10 for 20. Okay. Hasn't exactly shot the ball well from 3-ball range, though, the last 2 games as well. We'll see. To me, that feels like a good prop, though. And then looking at Danilo Banton here, he is the one of the players that we are getting a small prop line difference for. Once again, if we look at DraftKings Sportsbook here, they are kind of favoring the over 15 points. Not really an edge there, but I did just want to call that out because I did notice that. Now, one instance where we are getting a good prop line difference is going to be Charlie Brown Jr. We will see that Underdog has his prop line set at 14.5 points. We will also see that PrizePicks has the line set at 15.5. So looking at the odds here, we can see this should be a good prop to bet the over on Underdog. And he has been someone that has had a lot of minutes, which is awesome. And the shot attempts have mostly been there. Okay. 4 for 9. Wish he got to double digits, and that does worry me a little bit. But, the points were still there. He was still able to manufacture some points by getting to the free throw line. I don't like to trust free throw attempts, but maybe that is why he just didn't have that many shot attempts, All in all, though, that really feels like a pretty good bet that we are getting there on Underdog. So we are running into now a situation in which all the games we're starting to see limited in terms of the props that are available. For instance, we know that Jaden Hardy is going to be out, so that's why we're not getting any of the Dallas Mavericks prop just yet. But on the Indy side of the basketball, we did get news that Mathurin, Nembhard, and Isaiah Jackson are all sitting. And then we were able to get a Walker prop, which I kind of found interesting. And given the fact that he's had a decent amount of shot attempts, I kind of feel like we are getting a decent prop line for him at 17.5 points. The question being, is Isaiah Wong going to be a good prop to maybe pair with that, maybe a little bit of a game stack there? And so I would say potentially, obviously with all those players out, the usage needs to go somewhere. And we did see him get more minutes in the last game. Was able to get 17 points, potentially there. But I would say Walker is probably the best prop that we're getting. Now let's see if there is a prop line difference at all. There's not. They both have him set at 17 points. And then looking at the points, rebounds, and assists prop that's available on Underdog, they have it set at 28.5. That is probably correct. Okay, so probably just not touching that. If we wanted to, though, we could do the points prop there. So moving on into Miami now real quick. Orlando Robinson got there in the last game because he had 12 freaking fouls and free throws on fouls. It didn't seem like he deserved that many. It goes back to echoing that a lot of players have been benefiting from soft whistle. Hawkheads is still out, unfortunately. All right. And then looking at Drew Smith and Drew Peterson, I don't want to touch those just yet. I don't know enough about them. I haven't really seen that much. In terms of their shot attempts, though, they really haven't had that many of them either. Minutes have been there, which is nice, but I feel like I don't have a proper base to give out information on those guys. So now getting into the Denver side of the basketball, looking at it, Peyton Watson sat out the last game, so I'm curious to see if he's going to start tonight. If he doesn't, then Strother, who he had his best game last game, he'd probably be one that benefits as well again, but he is the only manageable prop there. I would say if we get news that Watson's going to play, then Strother we probably want to be down on a little bit. And then I would say, maybe Tyson would be someone we could look at just in general, just because the 15.5 points does seem to be a little bit too low. And if we look at it, we can see he's averaging 18.7 points, which is great. 31 minutes, good there. Only 24, that was kind of worrisome, and then 27 minutes. So not getting that many shot attempts, but he is getting double-digit shot attempts, and he's getting to the free throw line as well. That is all nice. We're going to need him to get to the free throw line to get that over. And let's see if Underdog has given us a line on him. I don't mind this one, okay? There's a good chance he can get double-digit rebounds, and maybe we just go with the rebounds. Let's see this again. 12, 3, and 5. Okay, so all over the board there. I guess that is tough. I mean, for a big, you would imagine he would be able to at least get 6 here. That is very interesting. Now, he's not the tallest big man, don't get me wrong there, but that's just a very interesting line. And then just looking at the Spurs, I haven't gotten news that Branham's going to sit at all. Okay, but all right, I just looked, he is going to sit. And then I'm curious, so we know Branham's going to sit, so obviously he's not going to get there. We don't have any Blake Wesley props, so I'm curious if he's going to sit as well. If that occurs, then we probably would be looking at someone like Dominic Barlow, who the last 2 games has gotten double-digit shot attempts, has gotten 20 and 17 points in those games as well. And so that point total would seem very low to me if that does occur. If both those players sit, obviously the usage has to go somewhere, and the minutes would have to go somewhere as well. I feel like he'd be a good candidate to get more minutes as well. And this would be a situation here where I would feel comfortable betting the over points, rebounds, and assists for him. That's probably another one of my favorite ones on the day. Charlie Brown Jr. might be forcing it slightly there, but these 3 ones do seem to be pretty solid for points, rebounds, and assist prop, which is unfortunate. Why? Because it's Flex Friday. I want to give you guys a Flex Friday slip for PrizePicks. It's seeming like it's more of an Underdog day thus far. Let's continue on though. And then for what it's worth, Julian has been going off and getting some good points. Rebounds and assists have been there as well. So let's just say he can get 13 points and rebounds and assists, and then maybe tack on double-digit points. His points total is set at 16.5. So this line for 27.5 does feel to be a little bit too low. And then also looking at his rebounds prop as well. If the usage is increased, I feel like he has a good chance to get the over rebounds there as well. And then that ends the props that we are getting there on Underdog in terms of player props for the last game. So I'm going to be concentrating a little bit more on PrizePicks now. So they are giving us a Jared Roden, I'm pretty sure that's how you say his name, points prop, and it is definitely an interesting one, just given the fact that I believe we got confirmation that the bigs are going to sit, Wiseman, Stewart as well, so there should be some usage that goes around. Thus, I think it's no surprise that he had his best game in the previous game, having 12 shot attempts and having 18 points. Probably more of a situation where we would want to do points, rebounds, and assist props, but all in all, could be a good one. And then Marcus Sasser, he also had his most shot attempts in that game as well, but both feel to be a little bit too high for their points props, okay? From there, we look at Utah. Man, I was so tilted when we were getting like a 3-point difference for Micah Potter between Underdog and PrizePicks, and he wasn't able to get the over 9 points in the last game. That was simply, I mean, he did miss like 2 open threes. One was at the end of the shot clock, and then one other 3-ball attempt he made. That was mostly due to him only getting 5 shot attempts. He just was not getting the basketball. It was super frustrating. With that being said, he was still able to get 10 rebounds. Like, that to me is crazy. And I kind of want to do points, rebounds, and assists prop for him. Like, if that's set at 23 or something like that, 23 and a half, I would feel comfortable betting the over, just given the fact that it's tough to imagine him not getting that many shot attempts. Now, his minutes were down, which was just kind of strange. I was watching this game intensively because of that seemingly huge discounted square we had on Underdog. I kind of went ham on that, and unfortunately it didn't work out. But there were 2 instances in which he was going to clock in, and then game clock, there's 2 minutes without a stoppage, and then that happened again in the second half as well. So kind of fluky it seemed there. It didn't seem like it was just a matter of him not getting the rotation. But I do want to point out that Keontae George got injured in that game, so someone else needs to step up, and I do expect it to be Okachai. I still can't get his name right. But I do think he's someone that has been impressed. The points prop does seem to be very high there, and that's where I want to see what kind of line we're going to get for like points, rebounds, and assists with him on Underdog. That could be a spot for us. I'm just making sure here to go ahead and attack if we get that, because he is someone that has been productive. I expect him to have more points. The reason it's set at 21 and a half though is because they expect him to kind of take over for Keontae George being injured. For Phoenix, we're not getting any props, and that's simply because we don't have any confirmation on if Jordan Goodwin's going to play. If he plays, that kind of changes the whole dynamic of that team. And then also, this player sat as well on Tuesday, so I don't know if it was just a matter of the games being back-to-backs or whatnot. We haven't gotten that news yet from what I've seen, so just skipping on. We're going to move on into Memphis. So Memphis had Jake really go off in the last game. He's casually kind of been going off as well. 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 22 point, double-digit shot attempts in every game, and he's kind of gotten better each game as well. Now, the points prop is reflected in that, and I'm not saying I want to attack that, but maybe another situation in which we get a good points, rebounds, and assist prop. Let's look at his average here. His average right now is about 3 assists, 4 rebounds, so 7 there, and about 18 points. So maybe like 24 and a half is probably going to be the line. If it is that, probably just stay away. If it's under that, obviously bet the over. I don't really want to bet the under there. And then that being said, I kind of wouldn't be shocked if Kenneth Lofton sits in this game, and then that would also help Jake as well be able to get the over. Just because Kenneth Lofton, I feel like he's proven who he is as a player. Probably one of the best G League players, and heck, he is probably now going for the G League MVP. I think Isaiah Mobley should have it, which might be a hot take, but he's been very productive. Maybe Kenneth Lofton can kind of sneak into that conversation. And also on that thought with like Kenneth Lofton potentially sitting, they're 1-2. So it's not like they're playing for anything. It's not like they're playing for the G League title or anything. And now lastly, looking at the Lakers, because we are getting props for them. Max Christie and Jalen Hood. Ooh, I did not see this news on him. All right, so Max Christie, currently questionable. He played 35 minutes in the last game. Let me do a quick Twitter search here. Yeah, that didn't help at all. Okay, no, the Twitter search that I just did didn't help at all. If he were to sit, I would imagine Hood's points prop would probably go up. I mean, 20 shot attempts in the last game, not exactly dominating with that, but that would definitely become an interesting line to be on there. And let's see here. Are we getting a good line on him at all? Hood, over 15 points, minus 145. Not terrible. And then Max Christie, 20 points. They kind of like the line set at 20 there for him. So that would suggest that this is probably a little bit too low there as well. And then just lastly, I want to call it some esports props where we are getting some big prop line differences. It is very rare for like a League of Legends here. Like these are big kill differences here for League of Legends, okay? Because it's a smaller total. And so like right here, we can see this is about a 57% difference here. Sorry, like a 7% difference. It should be a 50-50 difference split here. 4 kills compared to 3 kills. That is pretty crazy there. So, you know, if we're looking to do a stack here, this is another one where maybe you could add that in there with Underdog, bet the over here. So with the Underdog slip, we would go to Esports or just click on home, and we could add in something like, oh, they bumped it. They changed that one. All right. So maybe not that one, but like we can just go through that process there of adding in those. You know, it deserved to get bumped, so it makes sense. And while I was catching that there, guys, let's see this. How long is this going to be here for? All right. So we got a free square there on Underdog. Very nice to see. But let's give out a Flex Friday slip. All right. So lastly, just want to call this out as well. This is probably a good one to go with. A 2-kill difference here. So I think we'd be fine betting the over there. So ideally, I would want to wait to see if we were getting better points, rebounds, and assist prop for the Flex Friday slip. Okay. But looking at it, I feel like these are going to be the best props that we are getting. We already know that Branham is going to be out. If Wesley is out, this is going to be a good one. And then if Christie sits as well, those are going to be good ones there. Ryan Rollins, I like the shot attempts that he could get. This one might be gone by the time a lot of you guys get in here. I apologize for that. It should be about an hour after lineup lock that goes live. And then a good esports prop. There are a bunch of pretty solid esports props out there. Honestly, if you guys want to use that sheet to just flex a lot of them, you know, hope that a majority of them hit. I'm fine with that. And then looking at the 2 best MLB based props that we have right now. But that is all for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the coverage. If you did, know what to do. Give that like and subscribe. Let's have a good slate. If you guys want access to that 905 cheat sheet, it is available for just $10 a month. All right, thanks for watching. Let's have a good slate. And as always, let's keep cashing.